Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Where are you sitting now? In your inside your house? Where are you?
Yes, sir. I'm at my house, sir.
Great. And in the house.
Sir, I am basically from Muzaffarpur, but right now I have shifted to Patna at my relative's place so that I can prepare for my interview, sir.
Great. So you are in Patna now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You would like it in English or Hindi or both? The interview.
Sir, I'm comfortable in both, sir.
All right. We are also comfortable in both. So don't worry. Now, beginning with your name, you have got a beautiful name called Ishani.
Thank you, sir.
What does it mean?
So it has been derived from the name of Lord Shiva, Ishan. So basically, this name Ishani means goddess Parvati.
God is Parvati.
Yes.
So, what
Yes.
is Goddess Parvati known for?
So goddess Parvati is known for her strength, her determination, and so she's known for her women instincts, womanhood. So,
Manoj. Okay. What has been your educational qualification? What you have done?
sir, I've done my I've done my bachelor's in economics, and thereafter I have done my master's in economics. So,
Where?
so bachelor's I've done from my hometown itself, from Bihar University, and thereafter I've done my master's from Pune University. So,
Pune University. Okay.
yes, sir.
And right now you are doing something or just preparing for civils?
Sir, I'm just preparing for the civil services. Sir.
But in BPSC also?
No, sir, I have not attempted UPSC yet. So.
Now, just the caste census results were published yesterday in Patna by
Yes,
the
sir.
Chief Minister.
Yes.
Why there was a need for a caste census for Bihar?
Sir, I think that caste as an institution is very deeply rooted in Bihar. As an institution, socially, it is there, and also political presence is very much. There are a lot of castes that need a lot of focus. Like as the caste census has already announced, the socially and economically backward sections as have come to 85% of the population. So there is a need that more focused policy implementation and policy uh, making of the policy is also targeted towards the different castes that are present in Bihar. So I think that that's the reason why there was a need for the census.
There is a term called extremely backward classes that has been used. I read in the newspaper, EBC. I can
Yes, sir.
understand other backward classes. I don't understand what is extremely backward classes with reference to Bihar. Can you explain that?
Yes, sir. In the extremely backward classes, we talk about, sir, the scheduled castes, and which are deprived from the social and economical these opportunities. And there are also 1.3% of the population in Bihar is the ST, scheduled tribes. So these extremely backward classes constitute these castes, sir. Scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, sir.
So SC/ST will come under extremely backward classes.
Yes, so there's some sections of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes come under the extremely backward classes who have been totally deprived from the economical and social opportunities, sir.
Now, why caste census is not done at the national level so far? What stops?
Sir, I think the reason is that there is no provision, I think, for the caste-based census, sir. And there have been opposition from the different sides because caste as an institution is already very much present in the economical, social, and political strata, sir. So if caste census is done, then there is a feeling that the politics would mainly be based on the caste system, sir. So that is the reason I think, sir, that it has not been implemented on the central level. And also, there are different states have different caste system. Uh, there are different castes in different states. So there, even the caste system is very diversified in India. So that it would be a very cumbersome process, the caste census, I think.
Apart from the caste data that has been compiled in Bihar, which other data was included also? It only reflects the caste reality or something else also? The caste census?
Sir, the whole caste survey which was taken place, it had two phases. So in the first phase, the basic economic, what are the economic or educational qualifications of the people, these data were also collected. And then in the second phase, the caste survey was done. So, sir, the results would also include the first phase of the caste survey, which was done to include what are the basic qualifications of the people or what uh, economical activities are being done in the state, sir.
Ishani, uh,
Yes,
economics is your subject.
yes,
Have you, are you familiar with the latest economic survey of Bihar?
yes, sir, I am, sir.
Can you just make a few points about it?
Yes, sir. So the overall GDP has been calculated at 4.3 lakh crore at the uh, real GDP of the state. The different different economical sections have been talked about, like the primary sector has been contributing 21% in the GDP. The secondary sector,
From the economic survey,
yes,
it
sir.
doesn't appear that the Bihar economy is very bad, isn't it? Do you agree with this? Then why is Bihar called so backward and that it is not doing very well? Is it not contradiction?
Sir, I would beg to differ a bit. Sir, I don't think that the whole Bihar economy is bad or backward. There are certain areas that need to be worked upon, like we need to shift our employment from the primary sector to the secondary and tertiary sector. There is a lot of disguised unemployment in the primary sector, sir. The manufacturing sector needs a boost, but there have been various steps that are being taken, like the industrial policies. There are loans that are being extended to the entrepreneurs. So, sir, I think that the tertiary sector is doing fairly good in the recent years. There have been different uh, services sector that have been opening, like the hotel and food industry is doing good, the education industry is doing good, sir. So I think that we are fairly on the right growth trajectory, but there are certain focus areas that need
Okay. Now,
focus.
what about the position of women in Bihar? Because again, the general impression is that Bihar is not very up and doing about the women's rights and welfare and so on. Now, firstly, whether it is correct. Number two, how many districts are there in Bihar? 38, I think, isn't it? How many
Yes,
districts?
38, sir.
38. Out of 38 districts, how many districts have women district magistrates? Do you have this information?
No, sir, I'm not aware about the district magistrates, but sir, coming to the uh, situation of women, there are only one or two districts, as much as I can remember, where there are men mayors, because the mayor municipal corporation this election took place recently. So there were, all the districts have women mayors elected. So this is one of the biggest, I think, steps towards ensuring women participation in the local administration. So then coming towards the police participation of women in police, Bihar has the largest number of women police. There are certain areas like women's safety that we need to ensure, but and also the workforce participation ratio is less in Bihar. Feminization of agriculture is a big problem. These are certain areas that we need to work upon. But recently, the government has been doing has taken certain great steps to ensure that women education is promoted. The gross enrollment ratio of the students, the girls, have been increasing. The government has also come with reservation in the education, as well as 50% reservation at the local administration level, sir. There has been 33% reservation in the state services. So I think, sir, that there have been a lot of steps, and the results are also quite visible, sir, at the ground level, sir, I feel.
What are your hobbies?
Sir, I love singing. I love listening to Bihari folk music, and I love cooking, sir.
Have you heard the name of Sharda Sinha? Sharda Sinha. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
You have heard her name, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell us something about her.
She is known as Maithil Kokilla. She is one of the most renowned singers when it comes to Bihari folk music, and I think her contribution is great. When the music industry from Bihar is looked at in a derogatory way, that only the singers or the songs are not vulgar songs or they are not very much good. She has created a different picture of Bihari folk music. She sings in Maithili and Bhojpuri in a varied uh, there are varied songs that she has sung from wedding to Chhat Geet, representing the culture of Bihar at the not only national but international level. So she was also awarded Padam Shri, sir.
What is your personal hobby about singing? What is your preference? What type of thing you sing? You yourself.
Sir, I sing folk music, Bihar folk songs, sir.
Would you like to demonstrate something very short?
Sure, sir. So this is a jhumar, which is normally sung during weddings. It goes like मोरा पिछवड़वा मिहिरिया के गछिया मिहिरिया के गछिया झिरी झिरी बही जाए ओ बयरिया झिरी झिरी.
Very good. Now, where do you see yourself after, say, 15 years?
Uh, so I think that I aim at joining the Bihar Administrative Services, sir. So I feel that I would be at the uh, in a district, I'll be at the SDM position, and I just see myself at a place where I have changed the lives of at least 2 3 families. I aim to change the lives of 2 3 families, because I feel in Bihar there's a vicious circle of poverty that is there. So if one generation, if one family member is able to get the education, get the basic necessities, their whole family is going to change, their lives are going to change. So I feel that I will have that personal satisfaction of having done that. Apart from that, I also hope at the personal level I'm able to uh, uh, have a proper balance between my personal life and the professional life that I have. So
Okay, fine.
yes,
Ishani, you
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
you have done economics. You know, you are an economics
Ye-
student. So
yes, ma'am.
what is, how is this G20? You must have heard of this corridor, international corridor agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
What is that, and how will it help India?
Yes, ma'am. So the J20 deliberations have come to this conclusion that there should be a India Middle East European economic corridor, wherein we'll be focusing on connecting our supply chain towards ensuring that we have better supply chain from India to first Middle East and then from Middle East to Europe. In this way, we would be able to cater to the logistics as the COVID pandemic and then the Russia-Ukraine war has come up with a big problem of supply chain disruption. So it will lead to better economic and infrastructure facilities. At the same time, it is also being seen as a way of tackling the Belt and Road Initiative of China. So in that way, it is a good move on the part of India, and it will help in the economic development of India, ma'am.
Achha, recently there was something in the news about Indian market joining JP Morgan Emerging Market Index. Have you heard about it?
Yes, ma'am.
How does that help India?
Ma'am, heard of it, but I'm not able to recall that.
Matter. What are your views about the Uniform Civil Code?
Yes, ma'am. Uniform Civil Code is one of the directive principles of the state policy under Article 44, which uh, uh, it basically talks about a uniform uh, code in the civil matters like the inheritance laws, then the marriage laws, uh, then maintenance laws, adoption laws, wherein, like the criminal procedure is uniform throughout the territory of India, even the civil procedures should also ensure that there are common codes for every community, uh, up, without any discrimination based on community, religion, caste, or anything, ma'am, towards ensuring better integrity and uniformity across the territory.
Okay. Can you tell me, does cleanliness, Swachhata, have any connection with GDP of a nation?
Yes, ma'am. I think, ma'am, that there is a relation between cleanliness and the GDP. There can be two, three parameters that I can think of, ma'am. The first is uh, I would like to connect it to the investment. If there is cleanliness and there are better environment, then more investment is made on the part of the uh, different companies. So that would ensure that the GDP rises at the state level, at the national level as well. Second is the people who are involved in the cleanliness would get employment. In that way, they would be contributing to the GDP of the country. So, and the third, I feel that, sorry, ma'am, I'm not able to think.
Would it help in improving productivity in any way, human productivity?
Yes, ma'am, definitely it helps in increasing the human productivity because in a clean environment, we ensure that we ensure better health facilities and uh, the health of the people are better. In that way, if they are getting less ill, there are less diseases, then definitely their productivity will increase, ma'am. In that way, definitely, thank you, ma'am, they will increase the productivity and GDP of the
What do you
country.
think about environmental protection? Why has that become a major issue? Because in Bihar you have the floods. How do you stop that?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not able to.
Every rainy season, Bihar, there are floods. Other states also, there are floods. So how should that be stopped? Some measure needs to be taken, na? Only post
Yes,
facto
ma'am.
measures are taken.
Yes, ma'am. It's important that proper mitigation is done. Uh, in that way, we can take help of the science and technology. And Bihar has been working on that as well. Like there has been a development of Befikar app in which the people would be made aware about the flood conditions and if there flood like Indrapraj app is also there. Apart from that, we can take examples from different places like the concept of sponge city can be used, vetiver grasses. These are some science and technology measures that can be taken. Apart from that, it is important that people are made aware about how how should they tackle the problem of flood because almost 28 out of 38 districts are affected by flood. Apart from that, river interlinking projects are a best measure. I think the rubber dam that has been made in Gayaji is a good step towards it. There is also this Gangachal Apurti Yojana wherein we are transferring the flood water from the Ganga to the drought districts of Bihar. So these are certain measures that are appreciable and yes, that it would take a little time because the whole geographical condition and the perennial rivers that are coming in Bihar cause a major issue like Kosi. But with all these steps, I think that we'll be able to tackle this problem to much extent.
Thank you. Tiwari ji?
Ishani, what is the best practical definition of economics that you can recall?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to hear.
Can you recall any definition of economics that you had studied at the graduation level? And what is the best practical definition that comes to your mind, which has a practical relevance?
Yes, sir. The best definition that I have come across that has made the much sense to me is the scarcity definition, which was talked about about by John Robbins, who said that economics is basically a science of meeting using the scarce resources to fulfill the needs of the people, sir.
Okay. And then what is the difference between a fiscal policy and the monetary policy? And then why is it necessary to maintain that difference?
Yes, sir. So the fiscal policy is basically at the hands of the central government, wherein it focuses on how much its spending should be, how the taxation should be uh, made in order to control the amount of money in the economy, in order to curb inflation. The monetary policy is at the hands of the central bank for the RBI, wherein it focuses on the various interest rates to determine the amount of money in the economy, like the various interest rates like repo rate, statutory liquidity ratio, or cash reserve ratio, etc. So it is important that there is a proper balance and proper deliberation is made while determining these rates, because it at the end it determines the amount of money in the economy and what will be the inflation rate. Now, presently, there is a problem of inflation that we have experienced. So, with the amount of with proper policies and with proper rates, we can ensure that the proper money supply is maintained in the economy, and these inflation can be curbed.
Okay. And what to your mind is the basic difference between a budget and the economic survey that is presented?
So, budget is the annual financial statement which talks about the whole spending or the planned spending and the non-planned spending of the government, what policies are being framed, and how much allocation is being made towards those policies. Whereas the economic survey talks about the condition of the economy in the last fiscal year, or what progress has it made, and how much it has been able to fulfill its promises in the last fiscal year, sir.
And would you have any idea of the size of the budget of government of Bihar? Just broadly, what would be the size? Like how much would be the expenditure?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall.
And can you elaborate what is the concept of a civil society?
Civilian society.
Civil society.
Civil society. Sir, if I had to define a civil society, I would say there is equality, there is no discrimination, and there is uh, all the people have the rights, and there is freedom, uh, and the there are less violence towards each other, sir.
Okay.
People are informed. People are informed, sir.
And lastly, what is meant by governance, good governance, and a good government? Is there a distinction between the two terms, governance and government?
Yes, sir. There is a distinction, sir. Governance, I feel, is the policy that is made. When a good governance means there are people-centric policies. In case of India, I would say down to top approach is made. There is consensus between the different communities and their needs. So these should be the criteria of good governance in case of India. Well, a good government is the group of people who are framing the policies for us, sir. And the governance is the policies itself, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do you take interest in current affairs? Do you read newspapers?
Yes, sir, I do.
You do. Why is this Nagorno-Karabakh region in the news continuously?
Yes, sir. So, there has been this issue between Armenia and Azerbaijan regarding the Nagorno-Karabakh region, wherein there has been support from different countries, like USA has been supporting Armenia. India has also helped with its Pinaka. It has given the Pinaka missile to Armenia, as much as I can remember, sir. So this is the issue going on, sir.
Not quite the same. Anyway, recently one US spacecraft threw some asteroid sample on the Earth. Are you aware of that?
No, sir, I can't remember. Sorry.
You don't know. The name of that spacecraft was OSIRIX, OSIRIX, OSIRIX. Have you heard about the Bennu asteroid? BENNU, Bennu asteroid? No. It's all right. Your interview is over. Thank you. We'll call you for the feedback in 1 minute. Stay back. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Ishani,
She can hear.
Yes, sir.
good presence and your Pune exposure and all that has worked out well for you. You are a good student, you know quite well. We are all happy with your performance. One or two things you could not answer, but that's part of the interview process. I am happy with you, the way you have answered my questions. Other experts will give you a piece of advice, so I just request them to.
You see, on the whole, it was a good performance, and you presented yourself well. Whatever you knew, you presented well. And of course, you did know something, doesn't matter, nobody knows everything. So brush up the areas which you find weak. Now, I had a feeling that you have a little tendency of going on and on and on. You see, one should know in such situations where you are presenting yourself, present your best foot and stop. So, very long answer.
Just a second, I'll just write, sir. Just a second, I'll write.
No, it is only that you should know where precise and concise statements rather than elaborative and unending statements.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's the only thing from my side which you observe. Otherwise, it's okay.
Actually, you start elaborating whatever the question. But initially, if you target on the answer, and while you are answering, what I noticed in some of this thing, you should actually give the most important point first. Okay?
Yes, sir.
If you are giving
Yes,
a
sir.
number of points on an issue, you can hear me? Hello?
Ma'am, I lost the connection. Just a second.
Ah,
Am I audible, ma'am?
you are audible. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, what I am saying is that when you are giving an answer, give the most important point first.
Yes, ma'am.
Less important points later, because the interviewer can also stop you if I feel that you know the same, you know all the important points, then I would shift to another question. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
as sir said, don't go on, and I'm adding to that you should give the most important point first. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Another thing, you have kept very still your hands on your lap, isn't it? Somebody has told you?
Yes, ma'am.
But
I've seen across the videos on YouTube.
no,
So I thought,
but then your attention is on your hands rather than in the interview, isn't it? Though
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have done very well in your interview, that's not a point, but still, too stiff means you are a very stiff person. Na? You
Right, ma'am.
be more at ease. That's all I mean. That doesn't mean that you
Yes.
keep waving your hands like this, but it also doesn't mean that you be too stiff. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? When is your interview?
Ma'am, on 10th October.
You'll do well. All the best. Just small points.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tiwari ji?
You have many positive traits.
Very good.
As everyone has said, but just as they said, don't be too elaborative on that. Just fiscal policy, monetary policy, you just say one is dealt with by the central bank, another is by the government for the taxation purposes. So that puts to rest. And civil society,
Oh,
the terms like this, if you haven't heard them, or if you are not too familiar, then you straight away say that I am not aware or I am not able to recollect them. So don't try to give your own definition of terms, standard terms which you forget or which you have not come across. So that would be the best strategy.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You can easily expect in BPSC questions relating to women empowerment in Bihar, the recently passed women reservation bill, and impact
sir.
of prohibition on women in Bihar. These questions are going to get around you. So prepare all
Yes.
these things very, very well. I was not very happy with your current affairs knowledge, but maybe BPSC, I don't know whether they ask this much or not. But I will find you lacking in reading the newspapers. You could not satisfy me on these issues. So at least for the next 5 days, concentrate on reading what is going on in the news. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure,
They can
sir.
ask you very, very latest questions on current affairs. Okay.
Yeah, and as you said, I think Bihar even presents a child budget and a gender budget.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just brush up all those things. Don't go into too many details, but just
You want to ask something from us?
Sorry, sir.
Would you like to ask something from us also?
No, sir. It's fine, sir. I have very less time left, so I'll brush up on the things, current affairs part, and I'll do the.
Just read the current news. Don't need to go back to old news. Just next few days you read till the interview is there. That's all. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All the best.
Thank you,
All the
sir.
best. You'll do well.
Thank you,
Do
ma'am.
well. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.